Good morning. My name is Pastor Rick Chesser. I actually am here to just kind of teach a little bit. What today I'd like to talk about is how to gain wisdom. How to gain wisdom. There's actually three things that I want to try to get across today. Is number one, trying to learn without Jesus. Okay, and number two, what using our own wisdom brings. Okay, and also, number three, God's provision for us. And those three things I would like to teach about today. And I want to actually use the book of Isaiah. And we're going to go to Isaiah 28 to start it off. And I'm going to be looking at the first six verses in Isaiah chapter 28. Listen to what it says. It says, "Woe to the majestic crown of Ephraim, drunkards, and to the fading flower of its beautiful splendor, which is on the summit above the rich valley. Woe to those overcome with wine. Woe to those overcome with wine. Look, the Lord has a strong and mighty one, like devastating hailstorm, like a storm with strong flooding waters. He will bring it across the land with his hand. The majestic wisdom of Ephraim's drunkards will be trampled underfoot. The fading flower of his beautiful splendor will which is on the summit above the rich valley will be like ripe fig before the summer harvest. Whoever sees it will swallow it while it is still in his hand. On that day, the Lord of hosts will become a crown of beauty and a diadem of splendor to the remnant of his people, in a spirit of justice to the one who sits in judgment, and a strength uh, to those who turn back and battle at the gates. What an amazing passage. And go, and he's talking about people that are supposed to be leaders and what it means to teach and what it means to teach wisdom and to teach the people. And actually he's liking this whole idea of wisdom, human wisdom, kind of being like drunkards, okay, being like somebody that's overcome with wine or overcome with beer, and do this. They stagger, and we'll see, and they don't end up teaching the right things. We look at a world that we're in today, and it is just chaos as we try to move forward as a country and so forth. And the truth is we're trying to do things, and if you look at the issues, we're trying to do things our way. We're trying to do things with the human wisdom, if you will, and that is just not going to work out well for us, and the outcome is not going to be anything that we really want. The second thing is what using our own wisdom brings is, if we can look at Isaiah 28, verses 7 through 12. It says, "These also stagger because of wine and stumble under the influence of beer. Priests and prophets stagger because of beer. They are confused by wine, and they stumble because of beer. They are muddled in their visions, and they stumble in their judgments. Indeed, all of their tables are covered with vomit, and there is no place without a stench. Who is he trying to teach? Who is he trying to instruct? Infants just weaned from milk, babies removed from the breast." And so as we look at this, um, let's continue on to verse 12, and it says, "For he says, law after law, law after law, line after line, line after line, a little here, a little there. So he will speak to this people with stammering speech and in a foreign language. And he had said to them, This is the place of rest. Let the weary rest. This is the place of repose." But they would not listen. Okay, so they would not listen to these things. They would not listen to what was being taught uh, of truth, and so they ended up being in a place where they were stumbling around and not actually doing and listening and applying the things that God had taught them. I want to go to Matthew to kind of put it in a little bit stronger, if you will. In Matthew chapter 13 and verses 14 through 15, it says this: Isaiah prophecy is fulfilled in them, which says, you will listen and listen, yet never understand. You will look and look, yet never perceive. For this people's heart has grown callous. Their ears are hard of hearing, and they have shut their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn back. And I found cure for them. Okay, so here's it clearly uh, Jesus actually talking to the people and explaining what's going on, and why that they're in this place that they are, and why they're suffering the things that they're suffering. And so we have to look at this and say, is my life like that? Do I want that wisdom from God? Do I want to be in that place where I am able to understand and see exactly what God's talking about and be able to gain that godly wisdom? And so that's the area that we'll be in, or we're looking for. And so in the third thing is we need to look for God's provision for us. Okay, let's look at Isaiah 28 verses 14 through 18. It says, "Therefore, hear the word of the Lord, you mockers who rule this people in Jerusalem. For you said, we have cut a deal with death, and we have made an argument with Sheol. When the overwhelming scourge passes through, it will not touch us, because we have made falsehood our refuge and have hidden behind treachery. Therefore, the Lord God said, look, I have laid a stone in Zion, a tested stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. The one who believes will be unshaken, and I will make justice the measurement line, and righteousness the mason's level. Hail will sweep away the false refuge, and water will flood your hiding place. Your deal with death will be dissolved, and your argument with and your agreement with Sheol will not last. When the overwhelming scourge passes through, you will be trampled." Okay, so and it goes as we look at this, we're seeing that God is telling them that there's a way, that He's made a way for them, and that way will help them go through this and come out on the other side as they want to. They come out the other side. They were trying to make deals, and we see this today where people are trying to make deals politically with all of this stuff, and instead of making these deals with God, not making deals, but following what God says, following His wisdom, following what's going on. And He said that He's given us a provision, and that provision is Jesus Christ. And he talks about this in terms of a cornerstone that He's laid, and we find that in 1 Peter chapter 2, starting in verse 1. And it says this: "So rid yourselves of all wickedness, all deceit, hypocrisy, envy, and all slander. Like newborn infants, desire the unadulterated spiritual milk, so that you may grow by it in your salvation. Since you have tested that the Lord is good, coming to Him, a living stone rejected by men and chosen and valuable to God, you yourselves, as living stones, are being built into a spiritual house for a holy priesthood, to offer spiritual sacrifices accepting to God through Jesus Christ. For it stands in Scripture, look, I lay a stone in Zion, a chosen and valuable cornerstone, and the one who believes in him will never be put to shame. So the honor for the honor is for you who believe. But for the unbelieving, the stone that the builders rejected, this one has become a cornerstone and a stone that causes men to stumble and a rock that trips them up. They stumble by disobeying the message. And they were destined for this. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his possession, so that you may proclaim the praises of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once well, you were not a people, but now you are God's people. And you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. And so right there, it points to that this cornerstone that God has given us, this cornerstone is the one that he laid in Isaiah, that he told them, that he gave them, that he placed there. And so when we look at this, we have to say, okay, this is God's provision for us. We have to look at things through Jesus Christ. We have to try to learn and allow him to give us wisdom in exactly what he wants us to do and how he wants us to respond. We need to respond according to his word through Jesus Christ and gain understanding with that. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're blessed.